Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Ken Rogers. On this week's program, we head to Northwest Kansas and jump on a combine and get a first-hand look at this year's Kansas wheat harvest. Kansas Wheat Commissioner Brian Linnin lets us ride along. We'll also have features from Kansas Corn, Kansas Wheat, and the Kansas Farm Bureau, and the weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association and market information from Pinion, a division of K-Coe Isom.
Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Kansas Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farm and ranch families since 1919, kfb.org. And the Kansas Wheat Commission, lending in the adoption of profitable innovations from wheat, online at kswheat.com.
In agricultural news, the 7th Annual Kansas Governor's Summit on Agriculture Growth will take place Thursday, August 18th at the Manhattan Conference Center at the Hilton Garden Inn in Manhattan. The 2022 Ag Growth Summit will be held as an in-person event and returns to the traditional sector-specific meetings for various segments of the state's agriculture industry. Attendees also invited to participate in a social event that will take place the night before on August 17th. That'll also be at the Manhattan Conference Center. Now, there's no cost to attend any of the Ag Growth Summit meetings or events, but it is important that attendees register so that the department can make sure they have plenty of materials and, of course, have that accurate meal count for all the food. Registration has begun for this summit and for the 4 early sector breakout sessions that are taking place now. So just go to agriculture.ks/summit along with additional information, including agendas, overviews, the ag sectors, and the link to reserve your room, even if you want one there at the Hilton Garden Inn in Manhattan. Well, Japan's longest serving leader and former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe died after being shot at a political campaign event just a few days ago. Agriculture has reacted as the U.S. Grains Council commented on the passing of a great loss for the country, they said. Prime Minister Abe was a leader in many ways, including growing trade between the U.S. and Japan. Those words from Grains Council President and CEO Ryan LeGrand. He continued, they say, the long, close friendship between the U.S. and Japan. It goes back even farther than the first office that the Grains Council opened in Japan back in 1961. U.S. Meat Export Federation President and CEO Dan Hallstrom says his organization is deeply saddened by the death of Abe. He said, in addition to being a strong and reliable ally for the U.S., he was a true champion for free trade. Hallstrom said especially his leadership in advancing the U.S.-Japan agreement, which was a major victory for American agriculture. Hallstrom also called Abe a courageous and relentless leader. Well, the dates have been set for 2 of the KLA, K-State Ranch Management Field Days that will take place in the 2022 series. Newland Farms will host the first event August 16th. That'll be in southeast Kansas near Thayer. And on August 25th, the field day will be held at Burgess Land and Cattle. That's just right there at Westmoreland. Both operations consist of an Angus-based cow herd, as well as a backgrounding business, and have a farming enterprise as well. The date and location for the third field day, not yet announced, but it will be soon. Now, each event will begin the afternoon at 3 o'clock and include presentations on the history of the host operation, as well as some of the management practices that are used today. And an educational session also will take place. And of course, that great complimentary beef dinner. Stay with us. We jump on a combine when we return.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and Liberty Link that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Welcome back to the Kansas Ag Report. We're at the top side of Kansas, just outside of Goodland, and we're in the wheat field. And joining us, Brian Linnin, who is a farmer and a member of the Kansas Wheat Commission. Brian, thanks for this ride along.
You bet. Happy to have you out here in the harvest field.
Okay, so let's talk about how this harvest has turned out here on the western edge. You've been going for quite a few days, but how are things? A little better than expected, or about what you kind of thought might happen?
We're pretty close to where we thought we would be. We had a really dry year this year, and the spring's been pretty dry, drier than normal. We're about 8.5 inches behind our average over the last 2 years, and so it's been a challenging year for us.
But you've had some rains kind of late, but did you get those last rains to help, or maybe a little too late, maybe help the spring seeded crops?
Yeah, I think the rains we had in the last couple of days are more of a help for our spring crops, I think. We got enough moisture this year to kind of make decent wheat, kind of average wheat is what we call it, but yeah, we're looking forward to next year for sure.
Some areas had pretty decent wheat. Now the field we're in right now is not too bad, but it's been spotty. We knew that since the wheat tour began, it was going to be like that. But Brian, sitting out here in the combine, you hear what's going on in these markets. A few months ago we were quite a bit higher, but still, $9 wheat isn't bad.
No, the price is good, and that helps kind of make up for when your bushels are a little bit short. Happy where the markets are, and we pre-sold a lot. We started selling wheat over a year ago when the market started to come up a little bit. Highest prices we'd seen in 3 or 4 years, and so we're not going to get over $9 for all of our wheat this year for sure, but happy that where the markets are.
So your protein test weights, you okay with those?
Yeah, we've been running 13 and 14 protein. Test weights all been over 60. I think the highest load we've had was 64 pounds, and we've had a lot in the 62 and 63 pound range.
Is your protein level normally that high, or maybe around 11 or 12, or what?
Yeah, it just usually depends on weather. Normally when the yields and proteins kind of are inversely proportional, so when the yields are low, protein's usually a little higher, and vice versa.
All right, so your crew, you got 4 machines, so you can get a lot done quickly.
Yeah, we can cut about 60 to 70 acres an hour, so we normally complete 2 or 3 quarters a day and kind of keep things moving.
Well, and you go a long ways as well, so you go a little further west. What's that wheat going to look like, you think?
So that wheat's had a little bit of hail. They were 2 inches lower in precip for the year than we were here, so it's going to be a little tough, but we've got some good wheat over there, and we're looking forward to cutting it in Colorado. So
we're talking with Brian Linnin, who was with the Kansas Wheat Commission. We're out on his farm just south of Goodland, so stay with us. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by the Kansas Livestock Association, supporting members' business interests and meeting consumer demands. KLA.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. And Kansas Corn, building the future at kansascorn.com.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Welcome back to Kansas Ag Report. Brian Linnin from Goodland is joining us, who's a member of the Wheat Commission. In fact, we are out on the combine getting this year's wheat harvest in. And so Brian is a member of the Kansas Wheat Commission. You're one of those that represents the checkoff and representing Northwest Kansas. So been some challenges, but there's been also some good investments made for Kansas wheat farmers.
Yeah, I feel like we've had a lot of success on the Wheat Commission. We built that innovation center, and if you haven't been there, I guess I'd put in a plug for that you really should stop by and see where your checkoff dollars are going as a Kansas farmer, and what kind of research projects and what public and private partnerships are taking place in that innovation center right there on the north side of the campus, just north of Bill Snyder Family Stadium in K-State.
And been investing in some new varieties, helping invest with K-State on some of the things they're doing, and we've seen those really pay some dividends all over Kansas.
They have. We have some good varieties out here. In fact, one of the ones that's in our blend that we plant here is Kansas Western Star, and that's been a real good variety for Western Kansas. We partner up with the Kansas Wheat Alliance and the Wheat Foods Council, and so we have a lot of collaboration that goes on at the Kansas Wheat Innovation Center.
So what else is going on there at the commission? What have you been talking about?
So this year, a lot of the talk is about the wheat harvest and the wheat crop being a little short for the year, and of course there's concern about that from a budgetary standpoint, and also just from the standpoint of farmers and being able to get the crop in. And so, one of the things we've been working on is a gluten-free wheat to help out with celiac disease on the bread. And so I don't know what the current status of that project is, but that's one of those things that we talk about regularly on the commission to try to move things forward and move the needle for Kansas.
And folks know that a lot of what goes on with wheat, especially with the winter wheat, comes from Kansas, and Kansas farmers like you are leaders in making sure some of those ideas come to fruition.
Well, we're the wheat state, and this is kind of where the bulk of wheat is grown in the U.S., and it's our goal to continue to be a leader in that area and try to make wheat a viable option for farmers and provide it to help feed the world.
Well, and I think there's going to be some opportunity. We keep hearing situations around the world where some drought and other conditions we've been experiencing. I guess bottom line, Brian, it seems like the world still wants U.S. and Kansas wheat.
That's right. We're usually one of the highest priced wheats in the world, and so sometimes we're not always the first choice because of price, but we are the first choice when it comes to quality, and when a buyer wants quality wheat, they come to Kansas.
Brian Linnin, who is a member of the Kansas Wheat Commission, has joined us. We've been on the combine on the top side of Kansas, just outside of Goodland. Stay with us, we'll have more in just a moment.
Imagine turning soybean oil, used cooking oils, and waste animal fats into fuel so amazing it drives U.S. jobs and our economy forward. Learn more about biodiesel at americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Hi, this is Bill Johnston with Kansas Corn, and if you're watching this video, it's probably because you're doing the experiment with Kansas Corn about how light affects the growth of a plant. So I want to help you set this experiment up so that it works really well for you. First of all, we've provided some of these things, and we have these pots. We suggest that you put in about 1.5 cups of potting soil, which will fill it up right to the top. Then you're going to lightly pack this potting soil till it's about at the level of this ring right here. So we pack that the way we want it. And then we're going to put in 3 seeds. These 3 seeds we're going to put in about the depth to our first knuckle. So take the seed, put it on top of the soil, push down until it's about the depth of your first knuckle. All 3 seeds, and then cover them up and pack them real lightly again. We're going to do the same thing in both pots. So once you have these seeds in place, they're going to need some water. So we recommend that you put in 5 tablespoons of water. Spread it evenly so that each seed gets water. And then one of these we need to put in a place where there's plenty of sunlight, like maybe on a window sill. The other one you're going to put in the dark somewhere, maybe in a closet or possibly covered in a box like this. In a few days, those seeds will sprout, and we're going to see how light affects these plants. In research like this, you have, in this case, 2 items. You have the control, which is the plant that you're going to treat normal. You're going to provide it with everything you need. Like this one, it's going to go in the window, so it gets the water and the sunlight it needs. This one is the experiment. See, it's going to test what you're curious about. So the experiment is going to be the one in the dark that is not getting the sunlight it needs. It's important in this experiment that you treat both plants the same, and one of those things you need to make sure is that they have adequate water. You know, the one in the sunlight's probably going to need water more often than the one in the dark. So here's what I want you to do. It's pretty simple. Just every couple days, check your plant just by touching the soil with your finger. If it's dry, add a couple tablespoons of water to make sure it has enough. If you touch it and the soil's still damp, it has adequate water. Don't worry about watering it today.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Kansas Wheat Commission is a member of the U.S. Wheat Associates, which combines funding from 17 state wheat commissions and cost shares grants from the USDA's Foreign Agricultural Service, FAS. U.S. Wheat promotes the reliability, quality, and value of all 6 U.S. wheat classes to wheat buyers, millers, bakers, food processors, and government officials in more than 100 countries around the world. As part of this work, U.S. Wheat organizes in-person tours across the globe to provide first-hand insights into the current year's wheat harvest. Kansas Wheat staff regularly participates in these programs to provide personalized information to each market and receive feedback direct from consumers. Back in June, Kansas Wheat had the privilege of having a group of millers from Mexico in our office. Although fields were rained out, meaning no combine rides, the tour got to see other aspects of the U.S. wheat industry, including Grain Craft's flour mill in McPherson, MKC's grain terminal in Canton. Since 74% of U.S. wheat exports are to Mexico and are sent via rail, terminals like these are important to the industry. Mexico has been the largest market for U.S. wheat for 6 years consecutively, and Mexico has already purchased 29.5 million bushels of U.S. wheat and over 6.2 million bushels of hard red winter wheat for the 2022-2023 marketing year. Our next international trade team will be the Young Millers, and that will be July 17th through the 20th.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Kansas Attorney General Derek Schmidt has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to strike down California's attempt to regulate animal agriculture outside its borders. Schmidt joined attorneys general from 25 other states in seeking review by the U.S. Supreme Court of a ruling from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit that upheld Proposition 12, the California law that regulates how animals are housed based on arbitrary standards that lack any scientific, technical, or agricultural basis. Specifically, it regulates the way producers in California can house calves raised for veal, breeding pigs, and egg-laying hens. It also prohibits the sale in California of any veal, pork, or eggs produced from animals not raised in accordance with the state's regulations, regardless of where those animals were raised. In addition, the law would permit California officials to conduct on-site inspections of livestock operations in other states and impose burdensome record-keeping requirements. The attorneys general argue in the submitted brief that the U.S. Constitution's Commerce Clause prohibits California's attempt to usurp other states' authority to adopt their own animal husbandry policies by extending California's regulations to every livestock producer in the U.S. They also pointed out that since most of California's meat comes from out of state, it regulates not only California grocers, but also the economic actions and transactions of farmers, processors, meat packers, shippers, and wholesalers in other states. The attorneys general argued that the entire impact of Proposition 12 would be visited on out-of-state producers that, though they have no vote in California, would have to remodel their farms to comply with the law.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Does your health plan lack dental and vision coverage? With Kansas Farm Bureau Health Plans, you can get a dental and vision bundle for yourself or your family at an affordable price, giving you the ability to maximize your benefits and lower your costs. Plus, you'll get a solid network of providers in one convenient package. Learn more at kfbhealthplans.com or contact a Farm Bureau Financial Services agent near you.
Good day. I'm Derek Hermish with Pinion. Unprecedented is a word that you've probably heard or maybe even spoken yourself recently when listening to or discussing the markets. We've experienced volatility in the ag markets before, and if you've been around long enough, you've also experienced inflation and rising interest rates. Nobody around today, though, has experienced both of those items at the same time with the amount of managed money that exists in the market today. The ability of the market to trade a range of prices in 1 week that we typically would trade in a year can be great for day traders, but it can lead to indecisiveness for hedgers wanting to make long-term decisions. It's difficult in this environment to give advice to somebody without knowing your individual operation and current crop outlook. Something I can offer, though, is to be sure you know what kind of decision you are trying to make. A short-term day trader does need to concern himself or herself with nickels and dimes when picking spots to sell or buy. A long-term hedger does not in this environment. Don't let a dime hold up a decision that could cost you $1. I'm Derek Hermish. Have a good day.
That's our show this week. Be social with us at kansasagreport.net or on our social media channels. I'm Ken Rogers. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Are you looking for Medicare supplement insurance plans? Now is a good time to look at your options with Kansas Farm Bureau Health Plans. A Medicare supplement insurance plan can help cover certain out-of-pocket expenses Medicare doesn't cover. Things like deductibles, co-insurance, and certain limitations that can be costly in the event of an accident or illness. With Kansas Farm Bureau Health Plans, you have options to Medicare supplement insurance plans with 4 levels of affordable coverage and service from an organization known for its commitment serving Kansans. We encourage you to compare our rates. For more information and to get a quote, contact a Farm Bureau Financial Services agent near you or visit kfbhealthplans.com. Medicare supplements insured by Members Health Insurance Company, Columbia, Tennessee. Not connected with or endorsed by the U.S. or state government.
Imagine turning soybean oil, used cooking oils, and waste animal fats into fuel so amazing it drives U.S. jobs and our economy forward. Learn more about biodiesel at americasadvancedbiofuel.com.